All right, everyone, welcome into the live. Just going to be talking some Packer football here for just a few moments. Packers Bears week, of course. So we're excited for that. Going to talk some Packer football, drink a couple of beers with you here, and get ready for Bears Packers week. Big highlight from today for the Green Bay Packers. No Christian Watson coming up on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. And Romeo Doubs has been listed as questionable. So that was the biggest storyline coming out of yesterday for the most part. And so things are trending in the right direction, it seems like, for Romeo Doubs. Certainly not for Watson, as he's already been ruled out. So not good there. But it is better than both of them being out. And again, I had mentioned this a few times, and I had said it on Twitter as well. It didn't make sense to me how relaxed some Packer fans were when it came to the notion that you might be missing both Doubs and Watson, and just everything's going to be fine. It'll go on as normal. The only way that you could think that way, to me, reasonably, the only way that you could be totally cool with missing those two guys would be if you think they're going to have a minimal impact on games this year. Because outside of that, you've got Samori Toure. That's it. And rookies. And you can say, well, there's a lot of talent there. Yeah, there's a lot of talent there. But these are all rookie. I mean, you got rookie tight ends. You've got rookie wide receivers. And not only are they rookies, I mean, we're not talking rookies here in week 14, 15, 16, 17. We're talking rookies in their very first game, their NFL debut. So to have Watson and Doubs both be out, to say, well, we'll just have Jayden Reed take over. Really? Reed's got a ton of talent. He's going to be really good. I'm sure of it. But you're talking about a rookie who's never taken an NFL snap in a regular season game before. And, of course, outside of that, you have got Samori Toure with a grand total of like 112 snaps, 5 catches in his time. So, welcome into the live here. Just talking Green Bay Packer football, drinking a few beverages here, getting ready for the Chicago Bears. If you're joining us here, let me know where you're watching from. Just check in. I'll give you a shout out with your name and everything. You don't have to be from Wisconsin. Like to collect people from all over the place. Let's start here. Kenneth says Adams possible coming back. So, no, I think not. That would be a very roundabout way for it to happen for Adams to find his way back into a Packer uniform again. So this is what happens with stories like that. There's this website out there, Wisconsin Sports Heroics, and they write all these sensational type headlines, and they take little tiny schnibbles of nothingness, and they turn it into an entire story. And that's what, from my experience, what I saw happened with the return of Davante Adams. Somebody suggested a path in which Davante Adams could end up coming back to Green Bay, and they took it and basically reported on it as being a real fact and a real possibility that Adams could be back. Adams not coming back to Green Bay. Not anytime soon. Spicy says, do you like the Saints? Nope, not particularly. Don't really like anyone outside of the Packers when it comes to the NFL. Kenneth checking in from Milwaukee. Welcome in, Kenneth. Cheers. Let me know where you're watching from. The more beer we drink, the more interesting the conversation becomes. Let's see here. AK Belt 33, and I apologize if I get any names wrong if you don't have just your first name on there. But you say I'm optimistic for our offense. Best football is ahead for our receivers, no doubt. Yeah, the Packers' best days are ahead of them. It's what we've gotten accustomed to over the last 30 years or so, ever since, I would say, 1994, about 3 years in with Brett Favre, 2 or 3 years in with Brett Favre. What we've been accustomed to as Packer fans is having the big moment, the big season, being right here in the here and now and being a legit contender. And that's not to say that it's impossible for the Packers to make the playoffs or something this year, but really, for the most part, with a few exceptions, less than 5 years since like 1994, the Packers have been legitimate contenders, and it wasn't about the future. It's been a very long time in Green Bay since it's been about the future. Now you've had some transition years, like going to Mike Sherman, going to Mike McCarthy. There really wasn't a transition going to LaFleur. Everything stayed good, but there's a few transition years where you're down for 1 or 2 years, but you still knew that, like, okay, next season things are going to be good again in Green Bay. We have not been to a point since the early 90s where it's, you know, the focus is on the future, and the best days are coming up in the next 2-3 plus years. But it is the NFL, and anything can happen as well. And the Packers, don't misunderstand, the Packers are loaded with talent. Tons of talent on this Green Bay Packer team. The defense, great. I mean, talent-wise. The concern is Joe Barry. But the defense is loaded with talent. Offensively, very good offensive line. Best running back duo in the NFL. Book's still open on Jordan Love. I'm sure we'll be talking about him here in a few moments. But receivers, tight ends, it's all loaded with talent. Sean says, from now, cocky Lion fan, good luck on the season, bro. Yeah, Lions for the Lions. Well, that was a good win. It was a good win for the Lions last night. There is no need for there to be an asterisk next to that. There's no need for the Lions to apologize for winning just because 2 of the top 3 players for the Chiefs were out. I mean, you play the hand that you're dealt, and you know what? The Lions would have been screwed either way. You know what? Because had they lost that game, people would have said, well, the Lions don't belong on a big stage, not even close, because they had a golden opportunity with the Chiefs missing a couple of their greatest players to win this game, and they couldn't get it done. And then they win the game, and you say, oh, there's an asterisk next to it. No. Injuries happen all the time in the NFL. A win is a win, and it just doesn't matter. And that's one thing that I like about Matt LaFleur. He's never going to – he's got a saying, I don't remember exact words of it, but it's essentially he's never going to apologize for a win. And that's a good way to look at it, because wins in the NFL are damn near impossible. Okay, AK Built again, Packer fan here from Alaska. All right, go Paco, and thank you also for checking in. Yeah, check in. Let me know where you're watching from. Does not have to be here in the great state of Wisconsin, which is starting to feel a little bit more like fall. AJ, be true. We don't need Davante Adams. No, the Packers do not need Davante Adams. They had Davante Adams. They had Aaron Rodgers. Last I checked, it's been 13 years since Packers won a Super Bowl. So, again, great talent like Rodgers and Adams certainly helps out, right? I mean, no doubt. But, and I said this during the offseason when the whole Aaron Rodgers stuff was going down, the same thing could be said for Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers clearly was not the key to unlocking the Super Bowl, because he hadn't had one in 13 years. Sean T. Oh, we got to go back up to you here. Where did you go here? I'm sorry. I'm going back into the comments here. Spicy says, I'm watching from the great state of Louisiana. Good. Thank you for checking in. Again, if you're joining us here, check on in. Appreciate it. Let me know where you're watching from. You don't even have to be a Packer fan. Kenneth, are we scared of the Lions? Scared of the Lions. I think the Lions are clearly the most talented team in the NFC North. And where they fit in as contenders in the entire NFC, I guess that remains to be seen. I think it's pretty clear they're going to be a playoff team this year, and that I would have said that before their win last night. The only caveat to the Lions is that they could always end up doing Lion-type things. Mr. C, Chiefs didn't look good yesterday. No, they didn't. Always hard to tell what's going to happen, especially if you're missing some players in week one, which makes this Packer-Bear game even more of a mystery because you got two teams that are a complete mystery. And we're going to learn a lot about both the Bears and the Packers starting Sunday. The whole story won't be wrote in one day for the 2023 season, but we're going to start getting some answers come in. Bumpa Ken, welcome in. Welcome back, I should say. We've talked in times past, at least one other time. Just across the St. Croix in the land of the Philistines, so in Minnesota. This guy on live says, go Pack Go. Yeah, you got it. Go Pack Go. All aboard the love train. Let's see. I am Janie. I live in Spokane, Washington, but from Wisconsin. Okay, Jamie, welcome in. Thank you for introducing yourself. The Slant Podcast. What's up? How's it going? We are sitting here drinking a couple of beers, and we are talking Packer football with all of you. Johnson says where? If you're asking where I'm from or where I live, I am in the southeast part of Wisconsin, a little bit north of Milwaukee, right on Lake Michigan. Bumpa Ken, the Lions are proving that you can win without a marquee quarterback. Well, they're part of that proof. I mean, that fact that you can win without an elite quarterback has really been borne out here over the last few years since we've seen, and that's the exciting thing about Jordan Love and having Matt LaFleur with him. These other guys in the Matt LaFleur coaching tree that have been a part of it, they have been winning with quarterbacks who are not particularly elite. Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, Ryan Tannehill. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing others as well. And Jared Goff. Jared Goff, before he left the Rams when he was with McVay, had success. If you want to throw Matthew Stafford in that mix as well, he's closer to an elite quarterback, but he's no Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. So yes, you can win without star quarterbacks if you have a quarterback who's capable of playing within a good offensive system, and Matt LaFleur has got a good offensive system, so that, for me, provides more optimism than anything else when it comes to Jordan Love. I have no idea what Love is going to be. I think we saw in the preseason that Love, Love didn't give us any moments where you looked at him and said, holy cow, I cannot believe we're going into this season with this guy. We didn't see that. So at least with Love, he seems like he should be capable of running the offense, and to me, that gives optimism for immediate and future success as well. See, Johnson says most underrated running backs, to be honest. In Green Bay, yeah. It seems like Aaron Jones has been flying under the radar, really disrespected this offseason, not by Packer fans, but we get to that point in the offseason where there's really nothing going on, and that's when you start getting the lists. CBS Sports, ESPN, they all start putting out the top 30 running backs list, the top 100 NFL players, and Aaron Jones was not on a whole bunch of those. And he should be. He should be. The guy is great. And every time that the Packers feature him in a game where he's the focal point of the offense, the Packers win. Their key to success over the last handful of years on offense is not hard to figure out. And it wasn't Rodgers to Adams, because you saw a lot of games where Adams was out, and they won those games. Why? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Well, without Devontae Adams, they had to rely on Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, especially Aaron Jones. And that's a great formula to win if you're the Packers. AJB True says, am I the only one concerned about our defensive front? Outside of Clark and Wyatt, it's suspect. Yeah, I'm with you there, and it's a young group as well. And again, it's kind of like the receivers. I mean, outside of Clark, who's a proven commodity and very good, uh, you don't you can see you have talent, but a lot of guys have talent when they're young, just like Packer receivers. A lot of these guys have talent, but you can't determine anything on what their careers are going to be just based off of talent, because plenty of guys have talent. The ones who are good or great or even average make something of that talent, and plenty of guys with talent go by the wayside. And to your point, be true. Uh, you say outside of Clark and Wyatt. Well, Wyatt hasn't really proven anything here yet either. I mean, he looked better in training camp this year, so things are trending in the right direction for him. So that's great. Yeah, but even that remains to be seen for sure. Sean T says, "Bring in Taylor." Oh, I would have loved it. I would have loved it. You probably, from what I understand, you probably would have had to have given up probably Aaron Jones in that deal. But in fantasy land, to me, I would. Could you imagine seeing Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones out on the field at the same time? And I think, by the way, I think that's something that is going to return this year. If you remember, Matt LaFleur's first year in Green Bay, they featured both running backs on the field pretty often. I mean, not as often as maybe we would have liked to seen, but the Packers used two running backs a lot. Not a running back and a fullback, but two running backs. And that would have been fun. Even Taylor and Dillon, just like Taylor and Jones, and I hope we get back to seeing some of that. Let's see. Is Dobbs good to go? We don't know. He's listed as questionable. He seems to be improving. It's obviously a good thing that he didn't get ruled out today like Watson. So it seems like Dobbs is moving in the right direction. Oh boy, Skull Vikes, boo! But you're welcome in here. All are welcome. I just don't approve of your NFL team. Jimmy says the Packers will start hot, but are heading for a post-Bart Starr swoon. I hope not. I hope not many, many years of being down. Again, if you're just joining us here, or if you just joined recently, check in. Let me know where you're watching from. Give you a shout out here to your city or town or state. You don't have to be from Wisconsin. Love seeing people from all over the country and the world join us here as well. Mike, should I drop Thielen on my bench for Jayden Reed? Actually, well, I don't know. I mean, I would. I think if Jayden Reed is available in your fantasy league, he's probably going to be available for a little bit. Just keep an eye on it. If he has a big game, then he'll get picked up. But you might want to see a prove it game or two from him first. But do whatever you feel in your heart is right. Landon, thank you for checking in, watching from Kenosha. Brazier, again, if I get your usernames wrong, I apologize. I do the best I can. Checking in from Green Bay. The good homeland, huh? Oh, I just moved to the very bottom of the comments. Oopsie. Give me 1 second here to take a sip of beer and to go back to where we left off on the comments here. I want to get to all your guys' comments. So just give me 1 second to scroll back up here. Planet Rock, thanks for joining. Am I drinking beer? Yes. I don't know. Am I going to make it all the way back up here? Okay. So I'm just going to start here where Uper David, 43, says, probably that our Packers win 10 games. I don't have the Packers winning as many as 10 games this year. So my basement for wins, I have at 5. And I think they're going to have more than that. I predicted that the Packers would go 8-9. I did a prediction before training camp started, and I said 8-9. And I did one 2 days ago. before the regular season starts, and I said 8 and 9 in that one as well. And I switched some games around. For example, I have the Packers winning right now against the Bears. In my new prediction, I had them losing the first time around, but 8 and 9 is where I have my basement for wins is 5, which I think they'll have more than. But I don't think they get more than 9. And I think if they get 9, I think they have a good chance to make the playoffs as a wild card team. If they get to 9, certainly if they get to 10, if they get to 10, they're in. Stack all day says, go Bears. Well, again, I don't approve of your choice of team, but you're welcome in here. User with a whole bunch of numbers behind you here says, Aaron Rodgers is going to pull a Brett Favre. What, try to weasel his way to Minnesota? Is that what you're referring to? Breezy 24, how far you see Dallas going? Dallas is an interesting proposition, is it not? Because they have the big man, Mike McCarthy, taking over play calling this year. Which I know there's a distance, and they got a lot of talent overall. Bim says, hello, everyone. My name is Bim. Hello, Bim. And I love cheese. Well, we all do here in the state of Wisconsin. Question, probability that our Packers win 10 games. Okay, I just kind of mentioned that. Probability? Well, let me give you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best chance. I'd say it's a 10 wins. I give it a 3.5. Jimmy says Jared Goff is pretty close to elite, way better than Jordan Love. Well, how do you know? You have no idea, because nor you or I or anyone else has any idea what Jordan Love is going to be officially. We've got one start and a little over a quarter, basically, of judging him. That's about it. Let's see. Love has shown great progression from the Slant podcast. Yeah, he's showing great progress since his rookie year, I would say. And again, this preseason, he didn't make you look at him and say, oh my, I can't believe we're going into the season with this guy. He just looks lost. No, he looks good. He looks in control. Let's see. AK Built 33 didn't know Watson going to miss the game. News to me. Yes, Watson out with a hamstring injury. Also missed time last year with a hamstring injury as well. Bills versus Eagles, maybe. N Mastered 26. Super Bowl prediction, huh? I apologize. I'm having a hard time seeing right now. The sun is coming through my windows right behind me, and it's glaring off the table, so that is a pain. I suppose I could just get up and close the windows, but I'll try to suffer through it for right now. Oh, that's better. But then you can't see me. Not that you care about that. Bump Ken, if the D plays up to expectations, then Love can be average, and we will win 10 to 11 games. Yeah, I mean, everyone considers Jordan Love to be the key to the Packers' success, but really, there's one other name on this Green Bay Packer team that matters just as much, if not more, than Jordan Love, and that is the name of Joe Barry, which I cringe to say it because I don't think Joe Barry, well, I know Joe Barry has not been any good, and he's not giving me any hope that he's going to be any better. Now, he's taken this offseason just like every player, just like every coach in the NFL does, and he's said all the right things. I mean, that's easy to do. Every team does it. No team says, oh, we're going to be less aggressive this year. We're going to be ball hawking less this year. We're going to get after the quarterback less this year. Things can change. It's not 100% a lost cause, but I mean, if you're banking on it, if you're betting on it, I wouldn't count on Joe Barry being good. Folks, give me 1 second here. I've given up on the sun shining in my eyes. I'm going to go close this up. Just give me 1 second. Okay. That's better. I can now see again. Let's see. Where are we at here? Jalen says ESPN glazes the Jets so much. That's the obsession. Starts with Mike Greenberg right away in the morning, and it just continues on throughout the day. Tyler says, do you think we can still win without Christian Watson? Yeah, I think the Packers can win without Watson. Certainly Watson would help, but, you want every ounce of talent out there, especially in a rivalry game, especially in week one when the rest of your pass catchers are essentially rookies outside of Dobbs, who, and again, keep in mind, even though Dobbs seems like he's on track to playing, he's got a hamstring injury, and we know how those linger. How is that going to affect him? I mean, is that going to put him on any sort of limitation during the game as far as the amount of snaps he can play? Is it going to affect his running ability, his route running, anything like that? So, I mean, you need everything you can get, but I do think that the Packers can win without Watson. I think it would be a very tough proposition for the Packers, despite what other people have said. I think that it would be a very difficult proposition for the Packers offense to do what it would need to do to win if both Watson and Dobbs were out. But I think they can get by without Watson. It's going to require some of these rookies to step up, including Musgrave, Reed, Wicks, Malik Heath. And don't misunderstand. I mean, there's an excitement about seeing them in there, but there's a reason that they're further down on the depth chart. So, no. I think you can win without Watson. Without Watson and Dobbs, it might be a little bit harder. Period. CHX says North will be ours again Sunday. That's a fun thing to think about. Bear down. Well, I mean, a win doesn't give us the North. I think the Lions may have something to say on that. But it would be nice to continue to dominate that Bears rivalry. They have not won a game against Packers since 2018. And imagine the tears of Bear fans flowing out because they think they haven't made right now. And I guess it remains to be seen, but they think they haven't made right now. They say, all right, we've weathered for 30 years. We've weathered Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and finally the Packers have Jordan Love. And we have Justin Fields. So, we'll see. Mike says, looks like Dobbs is out too. And that, not from what I saw, he's listed as questionable. And he has been practicing. So, it's good news on the Dobbs front. Not final news, but good news nonetheless. Sean T. Jones just can't fumble in big playoff games. Don't want him or anyone else fumbling in big games. Again, if you're just checking in here with us, let me know where you're watching from. Slowly working our way through the comments here, but I'll give you a shout out. Let me know city or town or state that you're joining us from here. Doesn't have to be from Wisconsin. Now that's spoken like a true Lions fan. Definitely not Dylan. Says Lions fan here. You shouldn't be afraid of us. Now that's just like years of abuse coming to the surface here. But I know how you feel. I'm a Brewer fan, so I know how that goes. I know how you can be conditioned to think. Packer fans are conditioned the opposite way. I heard somebody on the radio the other day, and I think to a certain extent, this is just using an extreme example, but the point is true. They said that the Packers could trot out the JV team of Green Bay West High School, and there would be Packer fans who would still say, well, yeah, they could still win 3, 4, or 5 games. So Packer fans are conditioned to win. Packer fans assume you're going to win. But it's an okay thing, too, because the standard for the Green Bay Packer fans is winning. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Dylan R23 says, how do you see the game going on Sunday against the Bears? I think Packers are going to win because the Packers have more talent top to bottom. But it's going to be tough, but I think it's pretty telling that I don't know if the line moved on the Bears, but they were a 1-point favorite, which is not much at home. And I thought I saw later today that they were 1.5-point favorites. But either way, that's not speaking very highly from Vegas about the Bears. I would say that probably means that the big shots in Vegas probably feel good about the Green Bay Packers. Mastered 26 I have the Lions taking the North. Let's see. Mike says Romeo Doubs is doubtful for Sunday. Let me double check here because I'm 99% sure that he was questionable. Let me grab the old iPad here. Let's see. First Packer person that came up. No, we're going to go with, let me look up Andy Herman's Twitter here. He's been on our podcast before. Trust what Andy is putting out here. Let's see. Where are we here? Back to the top. Let's see. Injury report. Andy Herman on Twitter 4 hours ago. Full injury report for the Packers. Christian Watson out. Romeo Doubs questionable. Bears have one person on their list. Dylan Cole is questionable. Bears cover. Let's go Bears. We shall see. I'd like to see the Jets. Justin Jefferson and Jair go one-on-one. And let's see Jefferson light up Jair. Well, you saw it. You saw it last year in Game 2 against the Vikings. Joe Barry pulled his head out of from wherever it was and decided to put Jair on Jefferson, and it did not go good for Justin Jefferson. Let's see. Oh, there you go. I like it, Mike Fieldhouse. Bears 112, Packers 3. If Matt LaFleur is putting Madden on rookie, editing all his players to be 99 overall, then yeah. Let's see. That golf course turf guy says, my cousin cuts Matt LaFleur's hair. That's interesting to know. Uper David, 43. Question, probability of the Packers win 10 games. We answered that one. Let's see. Just going down here more. The golf course turf guy says, watching from Kentucky, family in Green Bay. All right, welcome in. All right, I'm back down to the bottom of the comments here again and try to keep up a little bit more. Adam says, go Pack, go. Thank you for the comment, Adam. K-pop, you think Burns gets traded in the winter? Nah, I'm going to stick to Packers here, but possibly. Des says, go Pack, go. Yep, you got it. Plain, simple, to the point. Ryan, welcome in. Ryan says, Packers fan from West Virginia. By the way, welcome, Ryan, and not only welcome, but thank you for checking in. Again, if you're just joining here, check in. Let me know where you're watching from. What's up? We're just drinking a couple of cold brews and talking Green Bay Packer football. Adam, okay, well, Adam does not share, I would say, a small sentiment among Packer fans here. He says, I would rather lose with Love than win with Rodgers. So I get where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying. I'd rather win. But I don't think that sentiment is very far off from most Packer fans. And people who follow me on Twitter, people who follow me on here, the times that I've talked about Rodgers with, no, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. I think he was the best quarterback that ever played for the Green Bay Packers, but he's not my favorite guy. And I am looking forward to not a downgrade possibly in the quarterback position, but I'm kind of looking forward to life without him. It's much less dramatic, and we've been focused on football all summer long here, and now going into the playoff or into the regular season. LT is predicting Jaden Reed 130 yards. Woo! 2 touchdowns. Calling in now. All right. You come back with me at that, LT, if he's got that. Remind me that you said it. We'll give you credit for it. Watching from Lodi. Welcome in from Lodi. Let's see. We had a check-in here from Janesville. Kindove upset. Ryan just says absolutely. I hope that's something that I said that you're replying to, because I think I'm absolutely 100% almost all the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. Packers fan from from Upper Michigan. All right, the UP. That would explain Uper David, 43. Watching from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Des, all right. St. Joni Rivs, go Pack go. With the little cheese emoji. You got it, go Pack go. Ryan says, I got to say, though, I'm not impressed with Love yet. And that's all right. We have, look, unless you want to be impressed by preseason, which should not be the standard, I can see where you're coming from. That's cool. I mean, he's got to prove it in the regular season. He had one really good quarter against the Eagles last year. The game against that he started, his only start against Kansas City, was a complete disaster. Though I will still contend that Matt LaFleur didn't do him any favors in that game. However, on the flip side of that, now I'm sitting here arguing with myself, but on the flip side of that, as a quarterback, sometimes you're going to have to overcome your head coach. Happens to everyone. So there is something to be said for that too. But that was his first start. It's just I want to give Love the year, and then we start writing the story on him. And right now, just put it in your heads, Packer fans. Put it in your heads. Know there's going to be mistakes, and there's going to be growing pains, not just from the rookie receivers and tight ends, but from a first-year starting quarterback. Put it in your head. Know it's going to happen right now. Know it's not the end of the world, and that'll keep you from some frustration, probably. Not to say you can't be frustrated when you see growing pains from Love. That's totally fine. But just know it's coming, and don't act like it's a Jordan Love thing, because it's going to be that way with anyone. What receiver is he throwing the ball to? Romeo Doubs. As long as he's out there. I mean, I think if not that we as a Packer fan would want to have anyone missing from the game, but I think if you had to pick one to play this week, it would be Doubs over Watson if you had to choose one or the other. And that's because Love has shown a incredible connection with Doubs out on the field. Hux, is Jaden Reed going to step up? Don't know. Again, rookie. Have no experience with him in the regular season. So we don't know. David, what's up? Daniel says, go Bills. J-Dog, watching from Detroit, Michigan. Welcome in, J-Dog. Let's see here. Another Let's Go Lions. David R199. Is that Bud Light? And I think he said better not be Bud Light. No, it's not Bud Light. It is a blue can. My good cheap beer. It's Hams. Hams. Formerly, for you Minnesota Viking fans, brewed in Minnesota from the land of sky blue waters. See? Yeah. Now brewed, as we see on the side of the can, Hams Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can get a 30-pack of Hams for $15. Some Quick Trips, like $13.99. And some people think it's a trash beer, but I think it's okay. Let's see. Crispy Critter. Hey, I answered your question on Matt LaFleur. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I answered your question earlier on Matt LaFleur. But Crispy Critter says, I need to hear Love at the podium to see his attitude. Then I'll have my opinion. Well, you do have some... you're talking like after... Maybe you're referring to after game stuff like that. But, you know... I mean, he's out there. You can see stuff that he said. Let's see. Ooh, that's a long name. Big Murphy Log Gaming. I'm not going to go back and try to fix that. You know who you are. I won't even be mad if the Lions take the North. Fans deserve it. Yeah, I can't root for anyone else besides the Packers, but I have a deep-rooted despise for the Vikings and for the Bears. So, not so for the Lions. So I guess if the Packers don't win it, I'd be okay with that. I'm not actively rooting for it because I'm actively rooting for the Packers to win the division. But I get what you're saying there. The only time I hated the Lions, and the Lions have mostly been irrelevant, so it really hasn't mattered at all. But when Jim Schwartz was there, I was not a fan then. Who will be the Uper Kevs? Who will be the number one target Sunday with Watson being out? Number one target's got to be Romeo Doubs. Again, I just mentioned, like I said before, he's got this very close connection with Jordan Love on the field. So even if Watson were in, I think Doubs is going to be the number one guy. Now, Doubs may not be number one in terms of talent because Watson is just loaded with it. And Doubs is good himself, but the connection that him and Rodgers have, I think if you look at total catches throughout the year, if he stays healthy, Doubs is going to be number one in catches. I think that's going to be, and maybe as time goes on as well, Musgrave, because he's such a big target, and in crunch situations, third down, stuff like that, because he's a big target, he's going to get a lot of catches too. But I think that that Doubs is going to be Love's go-to guy. Smokey McPotts Josh says, Oshkosh. Welcome in from Oshkosh. Jimmy says, yeah, Detroit fine during a transition, but the Vikings and Bears never. No, absolutely not. B&M Gaming, who's going to pick up the most receptions / touchdowns? So Doubs is going to, I would say Doubs probably for both. Through the air. I mean, Aaron Jones is going to have a lot of touchdowns, I hope, but not probably so much through the air. But I would say Doubs. Second behind that, again, if Luke Musgrave is progressing the way he should be up there in touchdowns as well as the red zone threat, I hope. Pivotal Move says, we'll be fine if we play the kind of defense we should be playing. Yes. It all comes down to Joe Barry on that side. Like I said, there's two names that need to come up when it comes to the Packers' success in 2023, and it is Jordan Love and it is Joe Barry, and Joe Barry's in charge of that defense. So, yeah, if the defense plays well, look, if the Packer defense, if Joe Barry can keep his head out of you-know-where, then the Packer defense can carry this team. They got a ton. They have every bit the ability to be a top 5 defense. And if they're that, Jordan Love could be an average quarterback and the Packers can win games. I don't know how many they'll win, but they could win enough potentially to make the playoffs. Run game will carry us on Sunday. I hope so. So it's kind of interesting because for the, everyone's been talking this week. Well, the key to stopping the Bears is to stop the running game, particularly Justin Fields. But it's the same across the aisle as well. The key for the Bears, at least when it comes to stopping the Packers, is going to be stopping the run. Brendan from Detroit, Michigan. From Detroit, Michigan. Huge Packer fan. Been to so many Packer games. Can't even count. Very good. Don't take it for granted that you get to go to all those Packer games at Lambeau Field. Or I'm assuming you're going to Lambeau. Maybe you're going to... Well, don't take it for granted either way if you're going to an NFL game. But I was assuming you meant at Lambeau Field, but you're from Detroit. So you've probably been to a lot of games then in Detroit, which is, I'm sure, easier to get tickets to than at Lambeau Field. Tian says, who wins the North? I mean, I have to go with the Lions, and I would have said that before their win last night. Jeff West 115, how can Packer fans even think of a division title with a new unproven quarterback? Well, like I said before, like I heard on the radio the other day, somebody said Packer fans are always going to be in the mode of thinking that their team's going to win. So you could put out a JV football team and they'd say, wow, you're going to get 2, 3, 4 wins probably. Realistic? No. I mean, the Packers could make the playoffs this year. They really could because their defense has tons of talent. Offensively, it just comes down to Jordan Love running the offense. Are the Packers Super Bowl contenders? No, anything can happen, but I wouldn't be advising you to go make that bet. But could they get in as a wild card? Yeah. Just so much focus has been put on Jordan Love. And people forget about the talent that the Packers have on defense. Freddie says, do we have a chance without Watson? Yes. Jamo says, go Pack, go. Yep, you got it. Tian says, unbiased. I like it. Yeah, I'm not biased at all. Hey, look, the Green Bay Packers mean way more to me than any other Wisconsin sports team. I've missed like one Packer game since I was like 5 years old. Now I missed portions of the game when I was that little because I had a hard time paying attention. But I was sitting there in the living room with my dad for every single Packer game from the time I was 5 years old till right now, minus one that I know of. But I love the Packers, but I don't drink the green and gold Kool-Aid. I drink beer, but I don't drink the green and gold Kool-Aid, and I don't have green and gold rose-colored glasses, and I'm very realistic to it, to the point where if you follow me on Twitter, most people hate me, but it is what it is. I gotta say what's true. Brendan got tickets to the Thanksgiving game at Ford Field. Awesome. That would be fun. I'm so happy the Packers and Jets play on Thanksgiving. That's great. Dens, say boat. Boat. I say it better than my wife says it. She says boat. 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 No, I'm kind of saying it that way. Let's see. Yeah, boy says fan of Dylan. He seems pretty mid to me. I am a fan of Dylan. I like him very much as a person, and that's a pretty true Wisconsinite thing to do. We embrace people that love this state, and he certainly has loved the state of Wisconsin. As far as his play on the field, he wasn't as good last year as previously, but he's got the physical tools to do it here, and I'm hoping that he comes in not thinking much this year and just hits it hard and is running people over like he's capable of doing. Let's see. H. Miller 0126 says, ready to lose Sunday. No, I'm not. Ready to win. Jamie says, I've never been to a game, but it's my dream to go and watch them crush the Vikings. Well, that's all of our dreams. I've not been to a Packers-Vikings game. Been to good ones. Been to a few good ones. I mean, I've been to quite a few Packer games. Highlights, I was at the Al Harris interception for a touchdown against Matt Hasselbeck and the Seattle Seahawks. Was also at the playoff game against the Cowboys with the Des Bryant catch or not catch. So there are a few highlights. Sir Yackerton, you think we'll trade for a veteran wide receiver at some point this year? No, I do not. I think the Packers have been, if they were going to do that, they would have already done it. I think they have no interest in doing that, just like they have no interest, evidently, in bringing Mason Crosby back. The Packers are going with the young guys, and they're just going to stick it out with them because they believe in them, and they're going to give them every opportunity. So, no, I don't think that they would. Sir Yackerton, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, any follows or likes or shares. I really appreciate that. Again, if you're just joining in here, let me know where you're watching from. Got about 8 minutes left here. We're going to talk yet. We'll go for an hour here. So we'll keep doing that. Jamie, thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Riley says, F the Packers. Well, that's not very nice. Packers' youngest team this year. I like it. Well, we have experience in being a young team. All the years of Ted Thompson being in Green Bay, Packers were consistently, if not the youngest, one of the youngest teams. The thing that was different about that with Ted is that it was the youngness on the team was more spread out. Like right now, it's concentrated for the Packers, like at pass catcher, all young, and that's like an entire, not just one but two position groups that are all rookies. So that's a different kind of young when it's not dispersed evenly throughout the team. Thank you for checking in, wannabe golfer. I like your name. East Tennessee, go Pack Go. Thank you for joining. Thank you for checking in, and thank you for the Go Pack Go. Not for me, but for the Green Bay Packers. Josh says Packers are in a post-Rodgers rebuild. Yeah, and the Packers won't call it that, but offensively, yeah, they're rebuilding. I mean, you can't say that they're not with all these young pass catchers. Defensively, it's not a rebuild. They got all the talent. It just comes down to Joe Barry. Ty says Tucker Kraft is our hometown boy. He's going to be a stud. I hope so. He likes Wisconsin. He likes Culver's. So that's good. He had a kind of a quiet training camp, quiet preseason. Expectations were pretty high for him, but seemed a little bit more quiet. Didn't hear as much about him as Musgrave, obviously. Musgrave is just a freak athlete. Let's see. Luca says, you ready for Packers versus Atlanta? My Falcons are going to win. Yeah, ready for that. When do the Packers and Falcons play? Week 2 or week 3, I believe? I picked the Packers win. No, did I? Yeah, I picked the Packers to win that game, I think. I don't have to go back and watch my own video to see what... I always have to watch myself to see what I believe in. Because I forget easily. Jordan Johnson, go Iowa State. I don't mind Iowa State. Well, same could be... Well, I'm not even going to go there. That's what happens when you win. You know, everyone hates the Yankees. Everyone hates the Patriots. So the Patriots actually have Super Bowls to show for it. User with a whole bunch of numbers behind it. Think we'll win Sunday. Yes, I am picking the Packers to win on Sunday. Gavin Martin says, hopefully Romeo Doubs plays this weekend. That would be the hope. Better if he plays than if he doesn't, that's for sure. And I still don't understand the passive attitude of some Packer fans is saying that, well, if Doubs and Watson were out, it would be no big deal. You're out of your ever-loving mind. It is a big deal. It's a big deal that Watson's out. It's better, though, that Doubs is still there. Packers are going to get buried this weekend. Good luck with that. Riley, who are the Packers playing this weekend? The Chicago Bears. Best rivalry in football. Though it depends kind of where you're from here in the state of Wisconsin. I grew up in central Wisconsin, and the Bears weren't that much of a rivalry really to me. I mean, it was just because you're in it, you're watching it, and all that kind of stuff. But the rivalry couldn't really be felt with them. The rivalry in central Wisconsin, and I think throughout most of the state, is the Vikings. I would say that the Vikings are the most hated team in the state of Wisconsin. Now, 7-8 years ago, I moved down to the Milwaukee area, and it's different down here. Down here, it's 100% Bears-Packers. And I think that's probably because of the close vicinity between Milwaukee and Chicago, and also there's quite a few more Chicago fans to kind of that live in this area to stoke the flames as well. Grass soccer field. Brother, how many times a day do you watch Mr. 3000? 0. Oh, that's a good question, Salty Critter. When was the last time the Packers were dogs against the Bears? I don't know. That's a really good question. It's been some time. But that's a good question. Another question that you could ask along the same lines: when was the last time that Aaron Rodgers was a dog against anyone? Because at home, the Jets are not the favorites against the Buffalo Bills, and that's been a long time since Aaron Rodgers was not a favorite too. Riley, who's my college team? The Wisconsin Badgers. Uper David 43. Packers haters have no life. Instead of crying about their own team, they cry about they cry in Packers chats. Hey, you know what? If you're a Green Bay Packer, now we only got 2 minutes left, but still feel free to do it. If you're a Packer fan, feel free to share the live, and yeah, feel free to share that live. Try to balance out the powers in here of Packer fans versus everyone else. Jack Rosenberg, hey, I know you because you send me tweets that I read sometimes, because I like you a lot more in person than Twitter. Keep it up. You've sent me at least one compliment on Twitter, I think. I don't know, I don't check my notifications all that much. Iola says, where's your fam? My family is not here right now. My wife got the kids from school and went over to her parents' house for dinner tonight, and I am staying at home with the dog, talking to you people, and drinking a couple of beers. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to find something to eat, and I'm going to just go sit by myself and watch Brewer game, play some video games maybe. I don't know, take it easy, do stuff I can't do when everyone else is around. Let's see. Packer fans are better than Bears fans, so I'll give you that. Well, at least Packer fans don't spit on Bear fans when they go to games, like what sometimes happens to Packer fans at Soldier Field. So, yeah. Uper David 43, is Gary playing Sunday? Yes. So Matt LaFleur ruled out Christian Watson today. You've got Romeo Doubs, who's questionable, and everyone else, including Bakhtiari, including Rashawn Gary, is good to go. So yes, Packers at full strength, hopefully minus just Watson. Krubos, not all Bears fans are bad. No, I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying it's generally not a pleasant experience for Packer fans who go to Soldier Field. As a Michigan fan, you're welcome for Rashawn Gary. Well, thank you. He was our second first-round pick that year. Dan, are we winning on Sunday or not? Yes, I have the Packers winning on Sunday. Well, I appreciate that, Krubo. I respect you as well. Thank you for not being a bad Bear fan. I'm sure there's bad Packer fans out there as well. Just seems like more few and far between. All right, we're going to go one more minute on here. One more minute on the live, because we started at 6:31. It's 6:31 right now. We'll go 1 minute over an hour. Riley, you have a good night, man. Go Lions. All right, you have a good night too. Go Pack, go. Ravens or Texans this week? Ravens. Yeah, I can end with a Go Pack, go. I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds here. If anyone else has anything of interest to say. Parking 47. Parking, that's not of it. Most hated 5 NFL teams. All right, we're going rapid order here now. Most hated 5 NFL teams. Just Vikings and Bears, really. Not a big fan of the 49ers, Seahawks either. A lot of Packer fans hate the Cowboys. I really don't care. Packers fan medic 361. No Watson, but I think our Packers will do okay. I certainly hope so, and I think they will do okay as well. All right, time to go. I've hit my own time limit here, so I'll end it the way you wanted to with a, well, first off, let me say the Bears still suck, and go Pack, go. You guys have a great night. I appreciate everyone in here. Whether you're a Packer fan or not, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining in on the conversation, talking with each other as well. You guys have a good rest of your night. enjoy college football tomorrow, and most importantly, enjoy the NFL football on Sunday. Have a great day, everyone.